Hello again, Facebook friends. This is Sheila E. And you can see I've got my hair pinned up some. This is just going to be for me and my family. Of course, it'll probably be for me and my husband. But I told you all I had been craving a homemade biscuit, one of them cat head biscuits. So I'm going, that my son-in-law and daughter don't want one because they'll throw that off guard. But I'm going to have me one biscuit and maybe some of that Christmas jam, me and my husband. And I've got some light country crock butter sitting out here and some honey. And then I wanted to show you this. I can't believe it's not butter, and it's 0 calories and 0 saturated fat. And this is you can just spray it and it tastes like butter, but it's not butter. Also, I've got my trusted baker's joy that I'm going to put in my pan. I do use, let me put you over here, I want you to see this. I'll wash my hands once. I'm going to wash them again. I've got my big old bowl. I've got my baking pan. I've got my Crisco shortening. Butter Crisco. That's what I like. And then, of course, I've got my White Lily flour. I have 2% Food Club milk. And then I've got some water. So let me wash my hands real quick, guys. I want to wash them again. People say they can't make homemade biscuits. Now you can cut them out if you want to. I've lost my little somewhere I put my thing that you roll your biscuits out on, and I don't know. We've remodeled, so I'll have to try to hunt it down. But anyway, I've got some parchment paper out here, hoping I don't make too big of a mess. So I'm not going to make many, but I'm going to go ahead and spray my pan with some baker's joy. And you don't have to give it too much. And I always rub it in there. And then, boy, the sun's shining beautiful out there today. I'm not going to open this bag yet and put it in my container. You see, I've got one of these big old plastic containers. And this is a half a cup scoop. So I don't want to make too many. I'm used to making a lot of biscuits. So there's one big old half a cup scoop. That's probably a cup. This is probably 2 cups, but you got to have enough to make you, as Brenda Gant says, your bird nest. You got to have enough to make your bird nest. And I might as well just go ahead and use this because I can sift it. I don't sift it when I make my biscuits. Sometimes if I have time I do, but you can, but I've never found anything in there. So anyway, I'm going to put the rest of that in there because I've got to wash this and put my new bag in there. So we're going to say that's probably about 4 cups of, and that's White Lily self-rising flour, okay? That's what I use all the time. And I use White Lily cornmeal mix, either the buttermilk or the regular. So what I'm going to do next, and I do this like Brenda Gant also, I get down in here in my butter Crisco and I just get me a little, let me show you this before I get my Crisco. I'm going to make me a little hole in here like Brenda Gant does, because that's the way my mama showed me. Okay, and then I guess I better use a spoon since I got flour on my hands, but I'm going to show you about that much, like Brenda Gant says. It's probably a couple tablespoons, and I may have to open my, I better put a little bit back because I'm not going to make a whole lot of biscuits. I hope I don't make a whole lot and tempt the family real bad. Let me wash this off my hands again. But now you have to use your hands making these homemade from scratch biscuits. And these biscuits, since they're not cut out, they are called cat head biscuits because they tend to be, and I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven too while I'm thinking about it. I'm going to preheat it at 400. We're going to start that because I watch them. It takes about 15-20 minutes. So I've got my flour. I've got one little, maybe a tablespoon, a little over of Crisco butter shortening, and I use the milk. And I want to do just like Brenda Gant. This is the way my mama taught me. And I'm going to put milk. I don't have buttermilk. If you had buttermilk and you want a buttermilk biscuit, you can start. But now I do just like her. I go in there and I start working that shortening up. in that flour and just mashing and mashing and mashing. And don't take, if you take too many pains, it won't come out right. That's what my mama told me. So you keep adding milk. And I had a cup to start with, and I also got some water here because you could add a little bit water to it too. That's what my mama showed me. So I'm still stirring and stirring. I'm going to try to get all this milk in there. Trying not to use a whole lot of water. I want them to be good and fluffy. So I'm still working that Crisco and that milk in there. And it's, you can see it right there how to do it. And you have to use your hands for this, guys. There ain't no other way. I don't know no way. Maybe you want to wear gloves, but since these is for my family, I'm not going to wear gloves. But I may holler at some of my neighbors and see if they want a homemade cat head biscuit, because we're not going to be able to eat these because, of course, like I said, we're trying to eat healthy. And this is probably, it's a bread, but it's not really all that healthy. I don't see anything wrong with it in moderation. Now, if you eat them, 5 or 6 of them with gravy and sausage and all that every day, then it can get bad. So then I put a little bit of water, probably a tablespoon, another tablespoon there, and I'm still working this, and I squeeze it between my fingers, and so I'm getting a ball now, and I'm going to take that spoon and I'm going to rake it off my fingers right there. I don't have my wedding ring or anything on, so. Alright, then what we're going to do, now you watch me, we're going to keep working that a little bit more. And my mama showed me, she said once you start seeing a ball, you start taking it and you fold it over and flatten it out. Fold it over and flatten it out. Now I'm going to show you. This ain't hard at all. So you just working that flour into that mixture. So I feel like it's almost to the consistency that I want, because I want my biscuits good and soft. Okay, I'm going to take the rest of this flour off of here. Alright, because I mean, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of that extra flour and I'm going to rub my hands with it. Now I want you to see this right here. I've got a ball. See this ball right here in here? And I'm going to start pinching. I call it pinching. See right here? I just pinched that out. And I'm going to pat that like my mama showed me. And mash that, and I'm going to put that right there. And I'm going to pinch another one. It's been a while since I've made any. And I'm going to put that right there. You want to put them close together. I'm going to turn that little ball over so I can get me some more. See right there? And I'm going to pinch another. And you just pat that. My mama used to go like that right there. She'd throw that biscuit dough from one hand to the other. My grandma did too. You know, I miss them something terrible. So anyway, I'm going to do that same thing. I'm hoping I'll have about 6 here. Didn't want to make no big batch. I have made huge pans of them. And I'm going to do just like my mama and my mammy. And I'm going to throw that from... Now my mother-in-law cut hers out. But my mammy, my grandmother, I called her mammy too. They didn't cut theirs out. They just patted theirs and theirs came out good. And that's where the phrase come from the mountain people, cat head biscuit, because they spread out like they're bigger than what they would be if you cut them out. So we'll put that in right there. And I always try to get some of these little things and put them together here where they get any flour. Now you can sift this flour and save it. Once you sift it a couple times, it's okay to put back in your container and use, because it's got nothing in it that's going to hurt anybody. Once you sift it and get all that dough out of there. So I'm trying to get my dough here rounded up. So I'm going to pinch me off another. I want one a little bigger than that. And I'm going to take it back and forth. And I'm going to squeeze that. And put that right there. And then I may have, I don't think I'm going to have but one more biscuit, because I didn't make a whole lot of dough. But that's okay. I just want one. You think I can just stand it with one? Then I'm gonna call my neighbors and see which one of them wants the rest of these cat head biscuits and let them come over here. So anyway, I'm gonna rub my hands with flour and I'm gonna mash them down like that right there all together. Let me show you. I know you can't see me doing that, so I'm just gonna mash them down like that right there. And I'm gonna put me some aluminum foil right here. Let me move this out of the way because let me wash my hands right quick. All right, I'm gonna put some aluminum foil in around the bottom of this pan to where it won't burn. I don't. If I've got baker's joy right there, it might burn. So we're just gonna wad up a piece here. Just sort of cover this so it don't have a biscuit. How's that look? That looked pretty doggone good. Well, we're going to put this, let me turn you around here. We're going to put this in the oven right here. And I've got it preheated. It's not even at 400 yet. We're going to put that on the bottom rack. And we're going to let that, and we're not even going to time it. I'll tell you about, we could time it just for you all. We're going to start out at 20 minutes. 20 minutes. But I don't think it'll take that long on those sticks. I'm thinking maybe 10 to 15 minutes on 400 degrees. And let me show you them in there. I don't know if you can see them or not. And let me see. Can you see them in there? See them biscuits in there? All right, we're going to watch them biscuits. And I'm going to show you. Boy, I got flour all over me. I'm telling you what. I try to not make such a mess, but I just can't help it. I just get it all over me. As long as I just stay in one area, I can get that area cleaned up. And it's not too bad since I've got my parchment paper down here. But I just want to show you what I've got here. Let me move this aluminum foil out of the way. And I did use that cup of milk and about 2 or 3 tablespoons of that water. So look here what I've got here. Got some country crock for spreading on them biscuits when I open it up. I got some honey. And I've got some, if I don't want to use the country crock, I got some spray butter. And guess what I've got? Some of my Christmas jam. And I don't want you to look. Now, on your Christmas jam, I always put you a date on it. So you'll know, look at there, look at there. So when these get done, I'm going to take them out of the oven. And I'm going to put you on hold. And then I'll come back to you, okay?